Okay, this is a demo of how to recreate the bug for this issue that I reported about header received add listener duplicates JSON values. So what do I mean by that? I mean that if you have a Chrome plugin and you decide to use the on header receive listener and you want to override the header values, typically what you'd do is you would have a JSON object and you would set the response header value to be the complete, um, you would override an actual value inside of the existing JSON object for the headers, and then you'd return back that JSON object. So in my case, I have a demo that I gave you guys in the zip file where you can test it to see how it works, a working example and a non-working example. So if you had set it to true, then I have also given you a very simple PHP application that just loads basic HTML page, loads in a JavaScript library that is purely for making AJAX calls, and then loads in our AJAX, that makes an AJAX call to our website, which expects an API response that has headers set that we are going to override. So the AJAX call, you can see it literally just uses the JavaScript AJAX call to make an API call to load the API.php. When the response comes back, I just take the response and I'm spitting out the header value for what it's in the x-pagination header and the x-test header. And here is the API.php file, which is literally just a PHP array or dictionary with key values for page 1, limit 50, total is 300. I take that array, I encode it as JSON format, and then I set that to be the value of x-pagination header. I have just a single value here for x-test header, and I return back in the body of the API call just some unimportant data here. So what I have for you here is I've enabled my Chrome extension that does the overriding, and of course the right now it's in working mode, so I'm not actually going to do any overriding. I'm going to return back an empty JSON object which doesn't do any overrides, and everything works just fine. So you can see that I've enabled my Chrome extension here, and so if I refresh the server which loads that HTML page, you can see that I'm spitting out the header values here, and there's that single value, 34. However, if I go back in here to the Chrome extension, I change it to false, make it not working, which means that I'm going to override the headers, but the values that I'm going to override with are the exact same ones that are already there. Okay, so I'm not changing anything. I'm using the existing values, which if you recall are going to just be a header value of x-pagination and the values being the JSON encoded version of page, limit, and total. So if we go back here, I updated the background to false, so I need to update my plugin. So I refresh the plugin, and now if we look here and we refresh, the spit out value is this, and so you can see that for the JSON value, for some reason it duplicates the entire object, puts it separated with a comma, but it doesn't, like, it's not like it wraps it in an array, which I might have thought maybe it would kind of, I mean, I wasn't expecting that, but I thought maybe that might be what you guys were doing. But still, it doesn't return it back as an array, it just doubles up the values. And if you look at the response that came back from the network, you can see that the result from API, if you look at the headers is just exactly what I expected to send. But what happens after the header override code runs is you end up with this. And there it's a problem because then you get your code then the actual JavaScript code from any application that's expecting to get JSON headers gets broken. So hopefully that's enough. I mean, I can show you that if I set this back to true, and then I go back here and I refresh the plugin, and I go back here, refresh that, it works fine because I've set it back to working. And then of course, if you look here at API, same response here, looks correct. Alright, hopefully that gives you enough information.